Hi guys, I'm Sasha. Thanks for joining me. Check out this transformation.
I've got a cheap old trunk here that I'm going to repurpose into a little accent table, but first I have to pry off all the existing fabric and accessories and see what we've got to work with underneath. I'm going to go ahead and use Mod Podge to put the new fabric on, and I'd start at the edge, and then I will use clothespins to clip it into place while I glue the rest of it down. I always make sure to smooth it out, make sure I don't have any air bubbles or wrinkles in there before the glue dries. I'm going to go ahead and put one more coat of glue right here at the edge to make sure that it's really going to stay. I'm going to end up covering the seam, the wood seam there at the top, but I really want a good, clean, solid edge there. I'm pretty much just going to follow this process all the way around the box, just continuing to use plenty of adhesive, smoothing out the air bubbles. Now for the edges, I want this to fold over here, but I cut the corner so it folds nicely. And then I will cover it with fabric that's folded over again with more Mod Podge. I was using a remnant fabric, so I was not thrilled with how the seams turned out. I had one that was a little large, one that didn't reach all the way. So I'm going to build a little wooden frame to cover that front wood part of the table. And I found these metal braces that I'm going to use. I used this square in order to ensure that I have a square there, so when I apply it to the table, it's going to fit properly. I decided not to use any nails or screws because this this wood is very thin. It's a decorative wood, so I just used the wood glue to hold the braces in place. I let that previous side dry, and I used painter's tape to hold these pieces of wood in place just because my table's uneven and they weren't wanting to lay flat. So I just put a little bit of tape on the back side there and applied the glue to these braces. I'm now going to build a small frame for the legs to attach to that will also be attached to the table. And I'm just going to glue these wood pieces on the sides and then use metal strapping to hold them together because this part will not show. It's actually going to be the edges that are going to show when the table's finished. So I use the metal strapping with some screws to hold it in place. And this is just applying the little frame that I made with some hot glue to cover those seams that I wasn't happy with. And as I mentioned, this is remnant fabric and it really had a weird wrinkle that I couldn't get out, and I was not happy with that seam. It was going on the underside of the table, but I wasn't happy with the top seam either, so I covered it with sisal rope, which I often do. It's a great way to hide little seams or little errors or edges that don't look great. And whenever I use the sisal rope, I also do something else on the piece to make it look intentional, just so it doesn't look like I used rope to cover the seams like I did. So I just do this to make it look more intentional. I thought that would be the legs would be a good place to do it and not overdone. I've pre-drilled holes for the legs to screw into. I just got these legs at Home Depot. I think they were about $5.50 each, and all of this wood is spray painted to match. And once I get the legs screwed in, I'm going to flip it over and put some screws in to really hold the legs firmly. This is going to be the underside of the table that I'm going to attach the legs to. I pre-drilled 4 holes, but I'm also going to use some adhesive to really hold it in place. And this is the last step. The table is finished. This is what we started out with, and there is the finished table.
Thanks for watching, stay inspired, and I'll see you next time.